Welcome to Discover Indie Film. I'm Jeff Howard, and I am on Zoom now with a filmmaking team. I'm going to call you filmmaking team for some reason in this introduction. Elizabeth Schneider and Michael Covello. Hey, you two.
Hi.
Everyone listening to this, you should listen to the podcast before this one. It was a wonderful conversation where Elizabeth and Michael shared how they went from artistic kids in upstate New York, a nice long path up to when your film Becoming an Oyster, I just cut out 30 years of your life there. Becoming an Oyster was at Sherman Oaks Film. It was at Filmmaker Los Angeles in 2025. I got Sherman Oaks on the brain because we just announced the official selections yesterday. So, Filmmaker Los Angeles in June of 2025, we showed Becoming an Oyster. You took home the Programmer's Prize for Exceptional Filmmaking, and it's just a fantastic, wonderful in every way, animated art house film. I'm going to call it an art house film because it really is a work of art. Everyone should watch it. You can't watch it yet, but keep an eye out. Check out the links in the show notes. It'll take you to places where, who knows, by the time you listen to this, it might be released. So anyway, this podcast is not going to be about Michael and Elizabeth. It's going to be about your taste in film because you're both going to answer or take turns answering the Discover Indie Film 4 questions, which are name 3 films that you love, name an underrated film, name an overrated film, and name a lesser known film for people to seek out. What I normally like to do, because I think fairness is important in this world, is you can take turns going first with each question. So whomever would like to go first with naming 3 favorites, feel free to just start.
So let's collaborate. Can we collaborate?
You want to collab?
Or we can
collaborate.
Collaborate. I think that sounds good.
By the way, because you're choosing to collaborate, you can go longer. You can do like 5 films if you want, instead of just
5 films.
So I would say one of my favorite films, which is an old film, is Manchurian Candidate. I've been saying I saw it when I was in, I think, like 4th grade. My parents watched it, and I was like in the corner. And I just always loved the power dynamics, and just the way it was shot and how they revealed each of the characters and their motivations in that film. And for me, that's a film that I just constantly am thinking about.
And actually, for a film from the golden era of Hollywood of sorts, it's very artistically shot.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
It is beautifully shot. I mean, you probably think it's boring.
No, I do think that there's slowness to it, but that is a good thing.
Yeah.
I think that some of the best like artistic shots in it, what I really like about them is that there's a lot of ambiguity. Like the space is so ambiguous, and I'm thinking about there's that one scene where like the woman has taken her Queen of Hearts costume off, and it's laying and blocking the entire foreground, and creates this space that's just like incomprehensible when the camera cuts to it. Yeah, so there's like a lot of like spatial ambiguity in that movie that to me becomes very painterly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just always liked how, like, even the scene where they oh, am I giving away too much if somebody hasn't seen the movie?
It's from 1962. Catch up, people.
Um,
There's no pillars.
the murder scene in it and the way they frame the murder sequence, which happens in a kitchen. It's just it's just beautifully shot, and it's black and white too, so like just a beautifully captured image.
Yeah, it's beautiful black and white. And I don't know, I got no right to say this, but I feel like the director and the cinematographer of that film probably were into like avant-garde French stuff, and they just pulled in influences, and they're like, you know what, we're making a film with Frank Sinatra. We know people will go see it. Let's give them something they're not expecting. Like, I kind of feel like it's that kind of movie.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
All right, well, you get a couple more. We got
I'm
Manchurian.
gonna throw Honeyland out there, which has been we saw it like I can't remember why we encountered this movie. So it's a like an independent documentary from 2000. I have my notes here. 2019, 2019, by by Kotevska and Stefanov. So it's kind of this incredible story that follows this woman in Macedonia trying to keep her beehive alive because honey is like her way of sustaining herself and it's like a business for her. And it just sort of follows her struggling to keep this hive alive and thriving while her mother's also getting sick and the ecology, the environment around her is very fragile. So there's this ecological tilt to it that feels very stressful and tense. So that naturally lends itself to some of our interests. And then I think there's also through all of her tribulations, there's this beautiful narrative of like collapse and rebirth, which to me has always been very important, how one transforms themselves and strengthens themselves through failure and then regeneration or whatever. And visually, the movie's incredible. You're going to probably see that trend with us. The visuals matter a lot. And again, like you get some of these shots from this beautiful documentary that are almost paintings to me. And I think the pacing is also, it's slow, but the slowness tied with these almost painterly visuals allow you to really sort of sink into it and enter into it in a way that feels very poetic to me.
So
It's a beautiful documentary.
that one, there's a narrative arc in it, but at the end you're not quite sure how it's going to end for this woman, for the protagonist of the or the central focus of the documentary. And you kind of have that there's an ambiguity about like, is it going to be a good experience? Is she going to be able to survive? Is she not? And I think that was really interesting. I mean, for me, I like the open-endedness.
It's
And
beautifully like beautiful fragility throughout the whole thing from this pocket of the world
yeah,
that I don't think a lot of people think about, right? I'm sure plenty of people do, but I don't think it's at the forefront of the global narrative.
Well,
Uh,
in our country, we barely notice what's going on in Europe, let alone Eastern Europe.
yeah,
Thank you for clarifying. That's a better
Right?
way to say
Like you talk to people. I mean, yeah, we are disappointingly uninterested in the rest of the world, I think. But also
it.
what you're saying about it reminds me of what you said about becoming an oyster and your awareness of the environment and things, because Lord knows if you have been aware of bees for the last
Yeah.
decade or two, we could like face global food shortages if we let all the bees die. So
Yeah.
and I think
huge importance.
when we watched this documentary, and I don't think we had I didn't have any idea what it was going to be
We went
about.
into it blind.
And
Yeah.
so I love that, like, but so I had heard about it and I was like, all right, let's watch this. And when I was watching it, I still could not categorize it. I was like, what is this about? What is going on? But it was so interesting. The characters, the people that they were filming, the story that was unfolding was so interesting. I couldn't stop watching it. And I couldn't, if you really asked me, like, what is it about? I couldn't really even tell you, like, after having watched it. But it was so engaging, and I that's one of the things I really love about this particular. It was a documentary, but I didn't feel like there was an agenda necessarily being pushed by the filmmakers. It was like they were letting you in and showing you this world, and you got to really see it in this beautiful way. But it didn't feel like they were like selling you something, or like that you had to subscribe to any sort of viewpoint. It was just about like seeing something from someone else's point of view and seeing their experience and sort of getting to experience it along with that person, which was interesting.
I mean, you just nailed something that's always been, I guess an undergrad professor ruined me for documentary by saying that all documentaries should be objective and present reality and then let people interpret. When a documentary has an agenda, I tend to get like, it turns me off.
Yeah.
Even if it's an agenda I agree with, I'm like, wait a minute, you're supposed to like present the world to me and then make me go, oh my God, we've got to save the bees.
Yeah,
Not,
exactly.
not, hit me
Like,
over the head with be, yeah. So
yeah, there is something really nice about having like not having somebody tell you what to think, but actually like making your own thoughts afterwards. And I love that about that
yeah,
particular
which is why your film ends with an ambiguous ending. All right, so you get to name another one
We
film.
or
want to talk
two or
about
three.
because we talked about Triples of Belleville once already. I think we should probably go to that one.
Yeah, so that
Everyone on Earth should see that movie.
one, I
Incredible. And I
enough people have seen it, I think. Um, yeah, that is it just unexpected and just the character design is so engaging and layered and complex.
I mean,
Um,
the characters are like so incredibly distorted to the point where when you watch it, it's endearing, of course, but it also is uncomfortable. And it's the type of stylizations that you're not see. There's no. I don't want to say they're not charming, but there's something that happens with a lot of other like big animation houses where there's like they're oozing charm. They just ooze love me, love me, right? All the care that they're it's almost like designed by committee,
mhm.
right? Where everyone can be happy looking at some of these character designs. Whereas you go to Triplets of Belleville and they're kind of like, we're gonna give you some crazy cyclist with a waist that's the size of a pencil and calves that are the size of bowling balls, right? And we're gonna make you a little disturbed by that, but enthralled. And then like a mother who's like massaging her son with an egg beater, like the surrealness and the comedy, right? Like there's like who even thinks of that? Um the music's incredible. It's
Mhm.
sort of like
Yeah, music is
I
deep
wish I
incredible.
cons
could sing it. I always try to sing that song to my life partner, and it ends up just being jumbled fake French, like do rendezvous.
Yeah.
But it'll be in my head forever, but I can't repeat it for some reason.
Yeah. I mean,
No, it's
I don't know. I
wonderful.
think this is the layers of that, like so atmospheric, such great storytelling. I don't know.
Yeah,
And it's
and like
yeah.
you said, It's a distorted. It's an enhanced version of reality with proportions and artistic representations that are not realistic in any way. But once you get into it, you're just in that. It's world building. They build a world, and you just accept that world. And yeah, most. I mean, animation. There's no limits to the world you create, right? You're creating the world from scratch, and we're always getting all these realistic things all the time. You know,
Yeah.
they just
Or
think
just so stylized in favor of pleasing as many people as possible. Whereas these, like the vision coming out of Triplets of Belleville, they don't care if you like it or not.
Yeah.
They like it, and they're gonna try their best to convince you that you should like it, right? And there's something kind of beautiful about that. Like it's unapologetic, maybe, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know.
Yeah.
you know, artistic vision means something
Yeah.
to people who love art. And yeah, and sometimes, and that talk about a clear vision, whereas, you know,
Yeah.
sometimes you watch an animated film with a kid and you're like, all right, there's
Yeah.
just there's no vision here, but they're just entertaining us with a cute story. Hopefully it's a good story. But yeah. Well, certainly a wonderful pick.
Yeah.
You want any more? Or you want to go to the next question?
What underrated. Wait, underrated is
The
next?
next one's underrated, yeah.
And we'll see if we agree.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, do you do your underrated? What's your
Underrated. I'm gonna go horror. I'm gonna go horror because it's been built up that I'm such a horror person. And we saw this movie when living down in Tampa at an independent theater. And again, we went into it not fully aware of what we were getting into. And the movie's called Goodnight Mommy. But in German, it's a German movie or Austrian movie, perhaps. It's something like Ixi, and so it's translated to Goodnight Mommy, though that's not the exact translation. And the directors, it's from 2014. The directors are Franz and Fiala, and it's an amazing horror movie. It's again, I keep picking these slow burn movies, but oh, and you'll see parallels in Becoming an Oyster because it's a story of two boys and a parent figure, in this case, a mother figure, who comes back from plastic surgery with her face wrapped. And they don't know if it's they strongly suspect it's a changeling. It's not their mother. It's some evil presence underneath the bandages. Is it or is it not? The viewer's not aware, but the boys get pretty convinced and follows this sort of horror. There's the beginnings of horror tropes, these two boys in this house in the countryside, with a potentially nefarious, dangerous figure that's pretending to be their mother. And then the way it subverts your expectations, it's actually quite astounding. How that narrative. Have you seen this movie?
No.
No. I don't want to spoil it because I think actually it's really
Spoil
I'm not
it.
gonna spoil it.
Your daughter is gonna like this movie, I
Would she
think.
like it? She won't find it a slow burn.
Uh,
I think she'll like it.
she'll like it. She'll,
And if she's
Okay.
watching a lot of horror, she's gonna see like, oh, here's the reference to Silence of the Lambs. Here's the reference to like Jason and Friday the 13th. Like,
there's a cornfield in there, and isn't there a corn? Is there a
there's
cornfield?
a lot of agricultural references and farming, and specifically, it's set in an area of Europe where clearly the Holocaust has happened. And so there's like scenes where there's things brought up from subterranean depths that are like mass graves and burials and things like that. And so a lot of sort of generational trauma is being unearthed quite literally in the surrounding landscapes.
So it's almost like the earth has these scars, and there's a history, and like and so that's been being drawn into this family situation.
But then it's playing
Um,
out on a domestic sphere with these two twin boys and their maybe mother, maybe not mother. And
yeah,
then just the way it sort of unravels is, I think, incredibly intense and beautiful. And well, I mean, not beautiful, but well done.
yeah,
I
and
can't
the
think of a more primal story than the story of your sole parent being robbed from you and replaced. Like that, talk about I mean, that mother figure, the idea of your mother being coming back and not and being an evil presence instead of the presence they were before. Oh my God. Man, those Germans know how to tell a story.
They do.
A
And
dark one.
I'm unfortunately blanking. It could be Austrian, but I think it might be Austrian. Um,
Well, Austria,
yeah.
should I be an asshole and say Austria is just part of Germany that got its own line drawn around it, but
They
they
have,
speak
you're
the same
showing
language,
that
eat the
we're
same food. They're just up on a hill that they didn't have to be conquered or anything.
exactly right. Yeah, it's all the same. Liz, what's yours? What's your underrated?
underrated. Ooh, um, that's a tough one for
You
me.
want to come back to it?
Yeah, let me think about it.
Think about it.
You've made
You get
everything go out of my head with Good Night, Mommy now.
with Liz, she gets very, very specific. She's like, it must be underrated, meaning a lot of people shouldn't like it. And I'm
Yeah,
like, no, it could just mean that people should like it more. Um, so you need to think about it for a second. Let's go to
yeah.
overrated.
That's true.
Um,
And you're nice people, but I don't have to qualify the term overrated, right?
I got one. I'm not gonna be mean,
Yeah.
but
No, I mean
I have something to
overrated can
say.
be a great what sometimes what I say for nice people is it is not a criticism. It is you can say this is a very good film. This might even be a great film, but it might have gotten accolades and awards for an artist, for a filmmaker whose other work is better. Like
Yeah.
something like that. Like it could be like this is great, but man, it didn't deserve the accolades it got compared to other work. But anyway, that's my effort to say it's not a diss. This ain't about dissing, although it could be. Because sometimes people are just like Star Wars sucks. Fair
oh,
statement.
I've got one
I don't
for
agree with it, but
You got one for
you know,
overrated?
but I think the movie Flow is overrated. I've watched it a bunch with our kids, like, and I teach in an animation program, so we're always talking about animation software, and I think they're using Blender, which is an open source program. They're changing like how people create 3D animations, and like love the idea of it. But I and I also love the idea like there's no dialogue in it. It's just about these animals. But
It sounds like you like it.
I do. I love it. I love the idea of it. I felt like the animation in it could have been a little better. And not to say that they didn't do an amazing job, and I understand like there's these massive studios like taking 7 years to make something and making it amazing is tough. But there were some like animation wise, I definitely like felt like it could have for like something that's supposed to be like this is Blender and this is this new program and it's open source and this is isn't it amazing? I thought that the animation could have been pushed a little further.
Someone's Team Wild Robot, if you
Yeah.
couldn't tell. Um,
Wild Robot was pretty damn wonderful. My
Yeah.
goodness.
my overrated is, and this is again a really, really beautiful movie. Love it. Christopher Nolan's Interstellar. But here's my critique. Here's my critique. Um, I don't know how you can do. Well, first of all, they're going across the universe. This isn't a plot level. I don't understand why they're going across the entire universe when they could have just terraformed Mars right next door to us. First of all, let's just start there. But also, let's pothole aside, because literally Mars seemed like a lot better than any of these planets that are killing people. Okay, like, but also, let's just go with that idea. Mars is no good. It exploded. It's not there anymore. So we have to go across the universe. I don't know how you can tell this story that's beautiful and poetic and interesting and like they just focused on this vast idea and forgot, I think, more inward facing ideas. Why not talk about colonialism? Why not talk about environmental issues? I mean, that's big for me. They didn't really touch into the environmental impact of what has happened to us here and what we're now doing looking out there. There were layers they could have peeled back and gotten deeply introspective. And it almost feels like a missed opportunity to me to focus outward so heavily and sort of deprioritize inward facing lenses. And I would say, I don't think these, I don't know when Arrival, the movie Arrival with Amy Adams, it was around the same time. And I'm going to say that movie, while very different, I think does this sort of vast ideology and approach to this vast world stretching thing, but prioritize this inward focused lens very beautifully, both through Amy Adams' performance, but also just through this, I don't know, this beautiful poetic narrative unfolding through time and through language that movie's unraveling through.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I hadn't seen Flow, so I can't comment. Obviously, I have seen Interstellar, and I'm with you. It's a good film, but
Right.
but a lot about it, and I am moderately addicted to Neil deGrasse Tyson's Star Talk podcast, and he
Oh yeah.
consulted on the film, but he also has pointed out like the things they got wrong. And
Oh
when
yeah.
I hear him say what they got wrong, I'm like, yeah, just so much in that film just didn't work for me as a story. Whereas Arrival, I mean, you mentioned Arrival, they made a compelling film about linguistics.
Right.
Ah,
Language is we everything about us exists because we developed language and we can tell stories. And the fact that they made it this amazing film about language and
Right.
communication, and I will forever hold that film up on a pretty big pedestal for that.
That's an underrated. I mean, maybe it's not underrated. It got a ton of award nominations at the
yeah.
very least, but it was her strongest performance. She should have gotten the Oscar for that. Amy Adams and
Right?
so
Yeah. Instead of maybe some other. Yeah. No, she's for sure. And you
it's a
asked
wonderful.
mine. I mean, I actually I dance around, but sometimes it's Godfather 2 because I've heard people say it's better than Godfather 1, and I think that's ridiculous. Sometimes it's Empire Strikes Back because people say it's better than it's the best Star Wars film. I'm like, not even close. Uh, and then sometimes it's Citizen Kane
These are all good answers.
Yeah.
because it's good, but I don't think for me Casablanca holds up like it was made last year, and Citizen
Yeah.
Kane feels like is a time capsule that's irrelevant to me today.
Yeah, I see that.
But anyway, that's
Great.
so there. I threw my answers in because you asked.
No, I'm glad you did. Those are great.
We got one left, which is a lesser known film for people to seek out, which you certainly covered with some German but anyway, feel free.
I like Genius Loki. It's animated short from like
2022 or
2020.
2020, 2020.
And it
By Adrian Marigot.
it's French and it's a lot of like hand drawn animation, a lot of symbolism in there, about sort of like this main character protagonist who's trying to figure out who she is and her role in the world, this changing world. Um, but like the imagery in it is just unbelievably beautiful and surreal.
Tons of watercolor,
Yeah, like
beautiful color palettes. This like modern abstract painting is floating in and out of there.
and like so yeah so and then references like these dog references, this barking reference, and just like they do a great job of showing what animation can do because the drawings are shifting and morphing and changing things you could never show with like a camera, you know what I mean, like just the way that the drawings transform and morph and transition and the way it's all so surreal, and
And
layered.
emotional and psychological. I mean, it's telling the story through emotions and psychological sort of disconnect
Yeah.
that you could only really tell through these experimental methods, I feel like. Or you could tell it anyway, I
But it's
guess.
only like 16 minutes, maybe 20
You
minutes. So
say only,
short.
but 16 is a
That's
Yeah.
16 minutes. So, but
for animation,
with,
that's an almost unheard of length, right?
yeah,
But
Yes.
by the
it's
way, if you saw my face react, I did pull it up on my phone, and the poster alone
it's
looks like
Oh, it's
the
incredible.
beautiful.
greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah,
That looks so
and
beautiful. And
you
for
can
anyone
watch it,
listening, it's Genius Loki. Loki is spelled Loci, so you can look it up. But oh
and you
my
can
gosh, I
view
got to
it
see this.
online. Like
Yeah.
so, I think you can watch it on Vimeo.
It was Oscar
So
nominated in I
it
think 2020, I want to say,
for an animated
and
short.
I believe it lost to Kobe Bryant's. Was that the year that it lost? Kobe Bryant maybe
Maybe I
won
don't
with the
know.
basketball narrative, and then
Maybe
this. But I might be
maybe
conflating
not.
years. I feel like that's what happened though. But this was our pick for the Oscar. Should have gone to this one maybe. No shade to Kobe's animation, like beautiful animation still, but I think this one really spoke to us.
Yeah.
I think we know why the Kobe the animation for Kobe won.
Yeah, we all know.
We know. But so I think we all know that Oscar voters don't always see the films either.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That is one of the great things about being in Los Angeles is right before during the Oscar voting, there will be local theaters that show not just the five nominees for animated short, but then like they'll show like the five that were on the list of 10.
Yeah.
And sometimes the best films are in those five that didn't make the top five.
No, sometimes you don't. Yeah. And then I'm always looking up those lists, you know what I mean? So that I can look at them and see them. Because sometimes, I mean, like a lot of things that go into the film circuits, you don't get to see. And so I'm always looking for them. Like what was on that list? What didn't make it? Because I want to see those as much as I want to see the winner. I want to see the ones that were on the list. I want to see the ones that were like honorable mention. I'm always looking for those. So.
And I'll throw just real quick because I feel like we're running out of time, but I'll throw out Waltz with Bashir. I don't know, maybe 2009. I don't know the year off the top of my head, but Ari Folman's the director, of course. And this is a really beautiful way to combine documentary filmmaking with animation. And this is feature length, and there's a good amount of violence and some dark themes there, but a very interesting way to do some creative storytelling. Yeah. So we'll throw that out there as something I would recommend, especially if they're young filmmakers or animators out there.
For sure. And you know what I haven't, oddly enough, what I didn't say to you two during your interview and or when we weren't recording is that my wife is an animation addict. She just loves animation. In fact, sometimes I joke when she watches screeners with me, I'm like, if you're sitting with me, everything gets a higher rating because you just like you won't let me give great animation like an 8 out of 10. It's got to be 9 or higher. She just loves animation of all sorts. So you just gave me quite a few films to show her because
Yeah, excellent.
she just loves animation and
You
we
got to follow up with us and let us know how everything gets ranked or
sure,
rated.
sure,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. And what can I say? We're the kind of people that like I'm sure you like we watched Forbidden Planet together a few times and like French bizarre French animation. We just can't get enough of it. So
That's so good.
y'all went heavy on the European stuff and Asian, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
which makes sense because yeah, I keep getting told that they still care about art over there.
We do.
They do. And some of us do. That's the thing is some of us do,
Yeah.
which is
A
wonderful.
lot of us, I think a lot more do.
Do then.
A couple more years, we're gonna see things.
And by the way, there was a reference to Wild Robot, even if you didn't throw, but Wild Robot ended up being a huge success and a beautiful film.
Yes, too. Yeah.
And I just have to add, completely at a selfish level, as someone who's been a dedicated step parent for 13 years, is that it's actually Wild Robot is the best film ever made about being a step parent.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like
Because that robot is literally a step parent to that
Yeah. Yeah.
bird. Yeah. It's like you raise something as if it's your own, even though it doesn't have you in it.
Yeah.
That was my selfish take on the film.
Beautiful.
It was beautiful.
It's nice considering Disney Animation has made step parents the evil people for
Yes,
about
exactly.
80 years.
This was your moment.
We're always terrible. I don't know. Yeah.
Nation.
We finally got a good one out of it. All right. Well, I will wrap us up by first of all, thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Michael. And
Thank you.
thank you, everyone who's listening. This is the Discovery Indie Film podcast. Go to the show notes and get links to all the work that Elizabeth and Michael have done. Extremely talented people. Listen to the podcast before this one to learn about their film Becoming an Oyster and everything that led is to, their 4 decades on planet Earth that got them to the point that they can make a film that brilliant. And go to discoverindiefilm.com to learn more about this podcast and other things that come from it. Go to @DIFWins on social media. I actually quit social media earlier this year, so my wonderful podcast producer, Karina, will be the person who responds to you if you write to us on any social media. But I'm actually the Blue Sky person, so if no one's ever done it, I can stay on Blue Sky because there's literally no one on Blue Sky. But if you write to @DIFWins on Blue Sky, I'm the one who sees it. Because I can handle Blue Sky, but the rest of it I'm done with. And I'll mention, not that everyone should quit social media, but I quit social media and just for probably obvious reasons. And 4 days later, there was a book on my nightstand that had been there for I can't tell you how long. And I read it, and now I've read like 4 books since quitting social media. So I didn't quit social media to start reading, but my brain said, hey, why don't you pick up that book? I'm like, oh, I can start reading again because I'm not either doom scrolling or looking at one bunny rabbit video after another.
That may or may not be AI.
I hope they're not. It was so wait, I just distracted myself with the social media rant. So anyway, discoverindiefilm.com for the website. If you go to for the podcast, if you go to discoverindiefilm.org, that is the nonprofit that runs Film Invasion Los Angeles, where we did the LA premiere of your film Becoming an Oyster, and its sister festival, Sherman Oaks Film Festival. They're both on there. They're both on Film Freeway's top 100 best rated list of festivals worldwide out of 14,000. So that's discoverindiefilm.org, gets you to all those festivals. If I was smarter, I'd say, and by the way, if you like supporting the arts, you can donate to the nonprofit on that website. I never remember to mention that. $10 can go a long way but anyway. And those 2 festivals get a sister festival in South America next year. January 16th and 17th, we're holding the first ever Film Invasion Lima in Lima, Peru. There's going to be some wonderful films there. So if you're listening to this and you're in somewhere in South America, I'm sure you're probably not too far from Lima, right? It's all close. It's as big as North America. So, but hopefully you're in or around Lima and you can make it out for what should be. There's really going to be some wonderful films there. So there we go. Elizabeth, Michael, thank you both so much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Pleasure talking with you all.
Total pleasure. And thank you everyone for listening.